Start recording. So what do we want to make a database of?
Cars.
Cars. Are you cool with cars? Yeah.
Vroom vroom.
It's one of those days. No, I don't want that. I want this one. Aha. So let's make a new application. Am I recording? I am recording. .NET new web API.
I'm writing that down.
Car API.
Oh, if you do -n, then that creates the directory for you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, that's game.
It didn't know.
Clearly.
Great observation, Gabe.
I needed you. You let me down.
So CD car API. So now we need to install a couple packages, right?
Sure.
Microsoft design.
Yep, we need to say, hey, we're doing Entity Framework. And hey, we're doing Entity Framework with Postgres.
Is Postgres pretty much the easiest SQL manager? Is that why we use it?
We use it because it's a good database, first off. It's common, and it's something that can work easily on both Windows and Mac. So we've added those two things. Now we want to actually create our database. So let's create our database. Create DB cars database.
I'll complicate the shit out of that.
Yeah. So now let's actually go in and create our table structure for our cars database. So I'm going to open this up. That is the last line of Postgres I'll write for this entire project. Everything else is going to be inside of C#.
What was the last line you showed?
Create database, create DB, and then whatever I make this. So let's head over to here. Let's add or get ignore. Do this again, not now, restore, call it a day.
What would you call the database? Just cars?
Cars database. I want this one. All right, so now we have a database I want to talk to. So now we need to use a model, right? So let's create a models folder.
Where did you do get ignore?
Command Shift P,
Command Shift D.
generate.getIgnore, and then Visual Code Studio.
So let's create a models folder. And inside of this models folder, let's create a class. We'll call it car.cs. All right, namespace. At this point, we're just creating a class to represent. We're creating a POCO to represent what a car means to us. So public
ID.
class car. Yep. We're gonna need some sort of ID. What else?
Name. Color.
Color, prop, make and model. Model, string year,
Price.
prop,
Maybe a scroll, I hope.
prop, double price.
When would you use private?
Do we want to make it an int?
The year should be an end.
Yeah.
Like 1960, 1955, right?
Talking about some more cars.
1960. 2016.
So-
2019.
When would we use private? In this case, never.
When you
Probably
go on
not.
this-
You won't use private if we want to hide stuff from things outside of cars. But remember, our car is a POCO. It's supposed to be simple and dumb. So it's not going to have a lot of functionality. It might have some validation here and there, but it's not going to actually do a whole bunch.
What does program mean?
Plain old C# object.
There we go.
It's just something that we're going to use to represent our table.
So right now you have a table named car, and in the rows you have ID, color, make, category, year, price.
I haven't actually made my database yet, but I'm just defining, hey, what is my database?
First, it would be you just create a folder called models.
Yep.
And just went from there.
Well, you created car, yes, it's the model folder.
You're going into models and creating a model.
Mm-hmm.
API.
So now I want to scaffold these.
Sorry.
Don't have silence.
Yeah.
And there's a little sorry.
Have you heard of If This Then That? It's a really cool web service, yeah, that you can like ties APIs together, and you can create like webhooks. And one thing that I used to use it for is like, if my phone gets to my office, put it on silent.
Nice.
So I never have to silent. And then once I took my phone home, once my phone got home, turn the ringer back on.
Mine has just do not disturb.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, it's 10 o'clock. Do not disturb gets turned on my phone. It do not disturb gets turned off at 6 a.m. So you can do like a whole bunch of like really cool like time boxing and geolocation fencing with like your ringer and like notifications. It's cool.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So I can't turn mine on silent. I just need to turn it down. Like attorneys and kids and things like that. So
Yeah, I know. I get you. I'm not saying for you. I'm just saying in general.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
if
that's cool.
Yeah, like If This, and that's a really cool service. Like one thing that's really cool and kind of trivial that I haven't used but I want to is like, hey, NASA puts out a picture of the day, right?
Mhm.
So take NASA's picture of the day and update my phone background to it.
Wow, that's cool. It's like a little scripting program.
Yeah,
It's probably
it's
gonna kill the battery a little quicker.
it does it actually.
Nice.
Yeah, so like it does nice little APIs like that.
That's really
That's
cool.
cool.
Anyways, car models API. We now want to create our DB context.
Now we need a database context.
Correct. So.
This is the same process we're going to follow when we're doing that.
Yep. So .NET EF DB context scaffold server equals localhost car database. We want to use Postgres and we want to call it car context.
If we did that before creating the database, is that
It'll actually crash if there's no database.
so? I must have created the database.
So this is just creating for us our DB context, which if we recall is how we access our database.
So that's
Ooh.
launching Postgres.
Cars.
Lame.
That's why it's extreme.
Like totally.
Yeah, that S, right? Car context.
Well, there's 2 spots you have to change it.
Nope. Just for the connected string, it's just one.
So
The
the car
database equals car's database, but car context is its own thing.
Correct. Because car context is what the class is going to be called. So if I head over here, we see we have car context. There's our class. And now let's give it our first table. Prop DB set car. Now we're getting a little red squiggle because our model is in a different namespace.
You need to use.
And then while we're at it, let's give it some data, right? Model builder dot entity car dot has data new car ID equals 1, color equals blue, make equals what's someone's favorite make?
The Benz.
Benz with a Z or S?
Sure, easy.
Model
Mercedes.
AMG.
Printer. Then.
price.
Joey, no. $5 million.
And year equals
2019.
2019.
Put it in the future.
So let's make a few here. 1967, 1988, 1999. Price.
Throw BMW in there.
W.
Throw an Aston in there somewhere.
Maserati.
Huh?
Not for any of those.
No, God no.
I bet.
Toyota.
The BMW Mercedes. Price 17,000.
1999.
$75,000 Toyota.
Yep.
It's the Mercedes Toyota.
Can't
Don't forget. Nope, never mind.
A 1967
Mercedes.
Toyota Camry.
I don't even know if that's a thing.
I don't think it is.
What is it?
Definitely not for
What does it say?
75 grand.
I don't know. Model for
I have no idea.
Maserati.
Me neither.
The
what?
Maserati
Turbo.
Quattroporte.
The turbo. Ghibli.
The C-Class M3.
M3. All right.
Quattroporte is Italian for four-door.
2, 3, 4. Blue. Red.
Camry since 1982.
Green.
Gold.
Red.
Yellow.
Shiny.
I want the gold. I
Shiny.
want the gold Camry. I want the gold Camry out of this list.
Yeah, me too. Here's my card data. This is something in my database jump started.
For 75,000.
So now that we have our database scheme and kind of everything planned out, we want to actually create it. So .NET, EF, migrations, add. Added cars and cars data. Then after we add our migration, we actually want to run the migration. .NET,
.NET.
EF, database, update. But before we run update, I always like to look at the migration to make sure that it's what I expected. Because I don't want to code too much in the darkness and at the very end go, why don't I have a database? So I just want to come back over here and double check that my migrations, my latest one, hey, there's a car table, has all my stuffs, and we're inserting data of what I added. Okay, I'm feeling good. So I'm going to run .NET EF database update.
So you created the database cars.
Yep.
Then we just use C# to create a table.
Yep.
Of a car.
Yep.
Or a multiple car.
Mhm.
Or
So then you need the .NET migration.
Yep.
Get that update. What is the database update do?
This runs all the migrations that you have outstanding. So that will ensure that your database is the latest version.
cool. I'm glad we went back through that process. Because now it's time to start our schema.
The push.
What? It's time to what?
Now it's time to build this schema. Is that
We already have the schema.
Oh, I guess the schema is the structure of our data, right?
Yeah, this is the schema.
Right.
You know, this and the combination of this right here. That's our schema.
Okay.
I noticed when you're in Google Chrome, so if you call this right now on watch.run,
I got nothing to call right now.
really?
It's just all we've done so far is build a database. That's it.
So it won't pop up as a JSON file?
Now we've got to go to the controller
Right now, I have to go to the controller and actually build out
again.
the endpoint. So let's do that now. Let's come over here. Let's make a new controller. Car controller. .cs. Bring over what we need to. Public car controller inherits from
The car context.
controller base. So now we want to have a get, right? It's get public action results enumerable of models.car and get. And same as before, var db, I want to query my database, car context, and I want to return db.car. Now I can actually order those as well.
Why did you just have to put the models?
I'll come back in a second. O dot, what do we want to order by? Name? Make model price, year? Year. Change up our return type to fit that out. So now if I .NET watch this, so I have to go over and kill this one first. So now if I head to this in the browser, /API
Models.
/car. Car or cars?
It's car. No. Yeah. No, wait.
It is car. It should probably be cars.
Yeah, cars for sure.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Rebuilding.
Why did it reverse the data too? Started with the fourth key on top.
Because we're doing an order by.
Oh, the year.
An order by year.
How does your browser reformat it like that?
This is JSON viewer. JSON view.
So add-on.
Yeah. It's a Chrome extension.
Yeah, we should have it when we did the weather API.
You see, yeah. Yeah, y'all should have it. You got a new computer, they probably don't have it. Thoughts?
What is the extension?
JSON view.
You should have it from the.
Yeah, I knew. I was just not sure if I had gotten this because I got this computer.
Oh,
halfway
right.
through.
That's right.
Not halfway through, just a couple of weeks ago.
So that is, so we created a database
Mhm.
and we're like, hey, let's create an API around it. And yeah, how are we feeling?
Great.
I'm so confused on why you put the public enumerable models.car.
Oh, models.car. So instead of importing the whole namespace, I just said, hey, go to the models namespace and give me cars. Conversely, or alternatively, I could do this as well and add the using statement. There's no real difference. It's just, if you're just using one item one time, it's sometimes easier just to grab that one thing. But if you're going to be using it a lot, which we actually probably will inside of this controller, it's okay just to kind of import it all at once. That's the only difference.
Not going to hook it up to a front end.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the hoses to a front end real fast. Gotta. If we want to hook it up to a front end, we have to add cores, right? So, services add cores, as well as.
Where does that go into the startup CS?
So these things go into the startup CS. Ooh. Just to kind of review what that actually means.
And it just makes it a bit more secure, right?
Yeah. So this startup CS is where we actually configure our files, configure our server. And we're just saying, hey, we're going to use cores and we're going to allow anyone to come and talk to us. And that's it. That's all it said. That's all it's saying.
Is this where you would do like authentication though?
So authentication is configured here. So yes,
Like,
we're going to get to authentication next week.
like denial services.
Hmm?
Like a denial services when you get too many requests.
Yeah, you could hook up something in here that says like, hey, if this one IP is giving me too many requests, stop.
So we're using Auth0, right?
Yeah, it's good for you.
Okay. Do we touch on OAuth at all? Is Auth0 a type of OAuth?
It is OAuth as a service.
OAuth, okay. Okay.
So the 10,000 foot view for OAuth, like if each one of you were a different OAuth provider, so like when you were Google, when you were Facebook, when you were GitHub, I as a developer have to interface with your site's API directly. But Auth0 is like, hey, you know what? No, you don't have to worry about the actual implementation of the sites. We'll worry about that. You talk to our service, and our service will talk to all the other services for you. So like instead of just going, oh, I only have a login with Google button, is now it's literally just like switches. They're like, I want Google, Facebook, Twitter, and GitHub.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
I'd rather
Yeah,
do
I
that.
like
yeah, and like
And then you get all their information.
like you get all the stuff you need from the respective services. You get, and you yourself don't have to manage any user authentication.
Is that
Like
that's what we learn next week?
yeah, like no storing of passwords, no storing of user information. You just get like an ID from Auth0 that's associated with that account, and that's it.
Hmm.
Ta-da! So you technically have a foreign key to a database that's not inside your system.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Are there, since you just have the one thing to get in though, are there security issues with that?
What do you mean the one thing to get in?
You just have the foreign key or the ID or
Or
whatever.
Facebook has a security.
No, I mean it's because you're storing it as just a string. So like that's all it is. So there's no real security issue. You're not storing any sensitive data, and you're only going to get that after you get a valid token from Auth0 and after you decode it.
Okay.
So like, no, like it's pretty secure. It's as secure as we could possibly make it in 2018. A lot of asterisks there, but. Anyways, cores. Yeah, so a lot of that stuff gets configured inside of here as well. So we'll be visiting this file a lot in the next coming weeks. Now let's build a front end on top of this. And npx create React app cars client. So yeah, all I'm doing is just creating a client in a separate folder, in a separate project, completely independent from the other one. And it's just going to be a simple React app.
Cars and card data.
The only thing we need to do to connect to our
What?
I don't know.
It's okay.
Yeah.
the only thing we need to do to connect to our database now is a fetch statement for our localhost 5000.
Yeah. That's it.
Fucking awesome.
So inside of our app.js, as Alan pointed out, in component did mount. Component did mount. Waiting for a JavaScript startup.
Come on, go.
Computers are going really slow recently. I'm probably just gonna have to wipe it.
It's like the same thing for like a year and a half. Just
Yeah.
start fresh.
I've never wiped this, and I've had it for like over 2 years,
Just one more time.
and it's gotten me nuts. I'll tell you that.
What we do is back everything up to.
I am like 100% cloud based, so everything I care about is on GitHub or on the Google Clouds. To be completely honest, like, so I can toss this out the window and get a new one, download VS Code and Z Shell, and like, no, I don't need Z Shell, but just download VS Code and Git and kind of go on my merry way. So
It's a good way to be.
I made that push personally about 3 or 4 years ago.
What cloud do you trust?
Right now, Google. I mean, they're all the same. But everything is like, oh, like Google services are platform agnostic. They're not tied to a OS or something like that. Like, so like if Mac does seem to be pretty awesome, I can just download Google Drive for this. Mac's currently sucking, so I download Google Drive for my Windows machine. I'm not stuck like, oh, OneDrive on a Mac. It's like, what? So yeah, it's like I'm just going to completely not rely on this thing being here. Because I've spilt water on laptops before. And that's terrifying.
And they make the break.
Yeah. So anyways, we have our state.
We bootstrap it
If we get there, yes. So let's get rid of everything that's inside of here.
It's worth a shot.
It was worth a shot. Well, I agree.
Probably will.
I mean, it's a quick another 15 minutes for that.
Header, my cars. And then we have what, a UL. This.state.cars.map. Car. Is anything crazy here?
No, we've seen all this many times.
Yeah. That's why I'm not. That's why I'm just kind of doing it. Car dot.
I mean, we need practice, but we've seen this many
Yeah.
times.
There's a car dot make, and then car dot model,
Color, price.
and then I just want to do car dot year. And then inside of our component did mount, I'm going to do a fetch. We're going to head over to HTTP localhost.
How do you feel about Axios?
It's cool. I like it.
It's just another thing you have to add on to the project.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it's like. Yeah. If I know I'm going to do a lot of these things, I want to bring in Axios. But for something like this, I'm only going to do like a handful. It's like
Right. What's the difference?
the only difference is this line right here.
You don't have to write that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this said Axios is fetch on steroids.
It is. It's
Those are his words.
yeah. Like fetch is kind of like a screwdriver.
Mhm.
Axios is like a power drill. So like you can do everything with Axios you can do with fetch. It's just going to be a lot harder and it'll take a lot more time. So now this should work, right? I did a lot of coding without checking myself. Here's hoping.
Where'd you go? We got this.
Ooh, yeah, I do another port.
Golf course still running.
Yeah, golf course is still running.
So did you create a React app?
Mhm.
Guaranteed he's back in 30 seconds and it's not enough.
Why are you taking forever? There we go.
Logo's not defined.
The homework doesn't include something like this, does it?
Yeah.
You don't have to
I
link
thought you
anything.
said that we had to link it
There we go.
front end to a back end.
That's adventure mode.
That
And
was this
and,
last
and Thursday's homework.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll try to tackle that out.
Yeah. So for tonight's homework, it's still yesterday's homework of just build me an API. If you want to try to hook up run into it, you go for it. It's nothing too nuts, I don't think, at least. It's just a little bit of extra, like making sure all the plumbing's lined up. So yeah, let's bootstrap this real fast
That's it.
with a React strap.
Sure.
I'm not opposed
Sure.
to any
I've
of them.
never used Bootstrap before.
Bootstrap or Boma or anything.
Let's do React strap. I did. Thank you. I'm gonna pull this one. So I'm actually gonna stop recording.